Hey guys, we're back in the kitchen today, and all month we are featuring Baking Yesteryear. We have the book, it's a signed copy, it's really nice, great pictures in it. It's Dylan B. Hollis is the author, and Baking Yesteryear, and he takes recipes from old cookbooks and perfects them, and it gives us some things that we haven't tried in a while. So today we are going to make I think I'm saying this correctly, Ricciarelli. And so what he says is the American cookie has become this big flat, either chewy or crisp cookie, and the only thing that differentiates it from another cookie in America is whatever's added, all the goodies that are added in it. You know, this one has butterscotch chips, this one has chocolate chips, and so this is made with egg whites, and it has almond flavoring. It's done with almond flour. It isn't the typical mix of flour and butter and you cream it together and you add all the stuff. So, and I'm not going to be as entertaining as he is. You're going to have to go online and check out his YouTube videos or TikTok videos. He's lots of fun. So, first we're going to use a cup and a half, well actually 2 cups of almond flour, and I'm going to end up using my finger. My hands are clean, and I'm not gonna he says sift it. I'm not a big sifter. This is already kind of, I didn't pack it, and I didn't pack it in the measuring cup, so that's 1 cup because I'm using a ½ cup measure. So I'm going to get my 2 cups of flour, almond flour. There's a cup and a half. And there's our 2nd cup. And now I'm going to put with that 1½ cups of powdered sugar, and you're going to divide it because we're only going to use a cup of powdered sugar in with the almond flour, and we're going to kind of lightly mix it together. Again, it needed to be sifted, so we're not going to pack it or stir it too tightly. So there's a ½ cup and another ½ cup to make our whole cup. And then I'm going to measure a ½ cup into a separate dish. And this we're going to save for later because we're going to roll these cookies. So I'm going to put that ½ cup right there. Okay, I've kind of slightly stirred up the powdered sugar, cup of powdered sugar, and the 2 cups of almond flour, and I'm putting in a ¼ teaspoon of baking powder. I'm going to lightly stir that together, and then we're going to start the next step. We're going to use 2 egg whites. The whites of 2 eggs. Separate them, make sure you don't get any yolk in them. And I'm going to pour them into a metal bowl so that I can whip them. So, and I've cleaned out my bowl really well, so there's no residue or any crumbs or anything in there. I have no yolks in my whites. I'm going to dump those in. And we're going to do the egg whites and salt, and it's 3/4 a teaspoon of salt. So I'm going to use my 1/4 and a ½ to add my salt. And a ½ made a nice noise there. Now we've got 3/4 cup of salt in with our egg whites. And the next thing you need to do is we're going to take a little bit of zest from a lemon, and I have the zester right here. Okay, I've taken my lemon and I've zested it, and I have the zest in here. So the zest of 1 lemon, and I've got it set aside. And I've also got enough juice that I'll be able to get a teaspoon of lemon juice out of this. And so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to mix with a stand mixer or hand mixer, beat the egg white, salt, and the lemon juice to stiff peaks. And remember in our last video I shared about stiff peaks. It's when it stands up, and I'll show you on the mixer. So a teaspoon of lemon juice. And this is going to give it this nice citrusy flavor with these egg whites. I'm just going to show you how foamy they get. We're probably going to be a good 7 minutes doing these stiff peaks. Okay, we've got nice stiff peaks. When I pull the mixer out, I've got a nice peak that stands up. They're more white and less foamy. So once you get to that point, you're going to fold in. You're going to fold in your lemon zest. And I'm going to use a spatula for this. And I've got my little dish of lemon zest. I'm going to dump all that in there. And the lemon zest just smells so heavenly. And when you fold, you're just kind of turning it over on itself because you don't want to deflate your egg whites and your stiff peaks. And then we are going to, I've got that nice and folded, we are going to slowly put in our dry ingredients. And that's your 2 cups of almond flour, your 1 cup of powdered sugar, and your 1/4 a teaspoon of baking powder. And so I'm just going to kind of sift it in little bits at a time, maybe about 1/2 cup at a time. And I'm going to stir it. And your egg whites are going to look like they're deflating. That's to be expected. Okay, I've got that folded. I'm going to do about another 1/2, kind of sifting it in there and folding it. I can smell the almond. We're losing some of our volume, but again, to be expected. I'm going to do about another 1/2 cup. This is really interesting. We're going to put 2 teaspoons of almond extract, which I absolutely love. So you've already got the flavor of the lemon. You're doing 2 teaspoons of almond extract. I'm going to fold again. This is such an interesting dough. Then I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. So these are going to be quite flavorful. And I'm going to fold until it's completely mixed. And it's such a light, interesting batter that resembles your butter and flour mixture when you, are making regular cookies with the butter and flour where you cream it together. Okay, it's a nice moist dough. And we are going to take once it's completely mixed and I feel good about it, I'm going to show you we're going to use a cookie scoop on this dough. You're going to take a little pinch of this dough, and we kind of added a little bit more almond flour and a little bit of powdered sugar because it was very moist, and I think that's just the nature of it. I haven't made these before, so you're just going to pinch it, roll it into ball, and roll it in the reserved powdered sugar. And these little cookies are going to sit for an hour and dry. So I'm pretty sure the moist consistency is the way it's meant to be. So we're just gonna make do with it. Roll it in the powdered sugar and let them sit for an hour, and we'll come back and we will bake them. Okay, we have baked these cookies at 325, so a cooler oven, and we baked them for about 20 minutes. I took them out a little bit less because the oven we used here at the library kind of browned them on the bottom, so it depends on if you want a nice browning on the bottom of the cookie, you know, depending on how long you bake it. So what I did before I put them in the oven, I just used a cookie press, or you can use a glass that even maybe has something on the bottom of it, or if your cookie press has mine has a silicone thing that goes over it, but it's a snowflake, and I'm not ready for snow yet. So I just pressed them down a little bit and then put them in the oven, baked them for 20 minutes at 325, and we've taken them out, and what you get is you get a nice crisp bottom, which may be due to our oven, and the outside is a little bit crisp, but when you bite into it, it's nice and gooey in the middle. And he is correct. It was a very good cookie. Before I tasted them, I was going to share with you all, this might not be a recipe worth trying because it was kind of a complex recipe, but for all the effort, definitely worth it. The almond flavoring is wonderful, and I just dusted them with powdered sugar. So enjoy, they're very good.